Entertainment news today. You're such a dragon gay. Everything sucks and it's no good. That comes out of Hollywood. But there's one place you can go to get all your news and info, and maybe even have a laugh or two. You know it's true. Midnight's Edge after dark is life. We'll stand for nerds and geeks, we will survive. From Star Wars to Jurassic Park, it's Midnight's Edge after dark. All those bombs and flops, but MEAD never stops. We will keep going through the night as we keep up the culture fight. Midnight's Edge after dark is life. We stand for nerds and geeks, we will survive. From Star Wars to Jurassic Park, it's Midnight's Edge after dark.
Good evening, and welcome to Midnight's Edge After Dark, your favorite show on YouTube, whether you like it or not. Oh my gosh, we got another man joining, a manly man. You can smell the musk from here.
Oh, that's what that was.
Indeed. He still wears high karate. That's right. It's Mo Zamboni.
Hey, I'm an Aquavelva fan. This confidence
Aquavelva,
is
my
very
bad.
sexy.
My bad. I thought it was high karate. I'm sorry.
I'm a Jack Palance fan. Sorry.
Aquavelva is a little bit more classy. You're right.
Hey, hey.
And speaking of classy, we got Script Doctor classing up the joint tonight. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty well. This is the first time I've gotten home early. So
Have you and Mo even had a chance to meet yet? I
definitely crossed paths with him a few times before.
Okay.
But no, it's funny. I was getting texts from Paul Chato because I haven't hung out with him in months because I've been so busy. He's like, "Where are you?"
That's a wide chasm. Is the guy that's been streaming for a year and a half?
Paul
and
is
one of the
needy.
best comedians of all time.
He doesn't even bother
I
me
got
probably
mentioned in the same sentence
as much as anybody else, but he is a very needy messenger. This is true. I'll bust him on this because he gets very like, does this look like it's infected? And it's like, Paul, quit showing me your penis. He doesn't get it, and then he gets upset and he gets all defensive, and it's like, no, it's not about the size. It's
It's nightmare fuel for if I ever get an infection.
Yeah, I don't need to see that. I got hopefully years before I have to worry about this crap, man. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. No.
Canoe on head of a different type.
Yeah, no, Paul is awesome. He's kind of like our cool, jokey uncle or whatever you want to call it. He's a great guy. Just giving him a hard time, of course. But speaking of hard times, Nick knows how to give the ladies a hard time. And some of the guys, too.
Wood.
You said wood.
Hard.
How you doing, Nick?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Happy to be here. I just started drinking caffeine at 6 p.m. on Central Time.
And I heard you're talking 10 to midnight at 8:30 tonight. So, like, there's all types of time, just all sorts of time.
Oh, I know. Time is just freaking nuts, man. It's nuts, but it's going good. Ready to do that Rumble show tonight. You know, Bonded by Metal had a great killer first video as well. So response went over really good. So
Congrats.
yeah, thank you. We're gonna get the next set of videos going because all the other guys are gonna contribute to the channel like as if it's their own channel as well. So this channel is gonna get pretty wild. Pretty wild. It's gonna be like a band almost.
Well, make sure you share the link in the chat so everybody knows where to look for it.
Will do.
But with that, let's say hello to the folks in the chat. I've seen so many regulars already. We got Emily in the house. How you doing, Emily Kruger? We got Penny in the house. How you doing, Penny? It's so nice to see some ladies around here. We've got D-Bud swinging around that wrench, sharing out those links. You know how it is. We got FKHC2005, who also sent in a super chat. We'll get to that shortly. We got 11 Alpha. We've got Southern Viking. We've got Eldritch Lord Haster. I saw Davina Duckworth, speaking of ladies in the house. We got Nick's posting for some reason in the chat. We got
BLT. Our great chat.
Well, what's this one? Oh, yes, you did. I was gonna say I didn't know what you posted.
He posted
got BLT here.
Metal channel. Sweet.
Awesome. Corleone Rogue. So many regulars. Hit that like button. Share out the link. Let everybody know that we are finally live. I know we're a little late today, but not too late. FKHC 2005, as I've said, posted $2 for Clobbering Times. Thank you so much for that. We do miss him. We got SFX F314 Sabertooth Raptor sending in 5 and says, so what kind of dumb shit did Paramount do this time? More and more, I feel like Wackywood will cease to be relevant in 5 to 10 years. Well, it'll probably be a lot like the music industry if they don't change their ways.
That's
like
true.
we are pretty much like the ghosts of Hollywood past going, you need to change your ways, Ebenezer, or in 5 years' time, Hollywood will cease to exist. Yeah, I mean, it's getting there.
I mean, it's physically going to move out of the state.
Well, the music industry just got conglomerated down to like 3 people, and they make pennies to the dollar like they used to, right? So that's basically the way the film industry is headed if they don't change something soon. Flying Blind on a Rocket Cycle sent us in a little Shiba dog with a thumbs up. Thank you for that, Flying Blind. We appreciate that. And with that, we're caught up on the super chats. But we got, speaking of Hollywood doing its typical Hollywood stupidity, before we get into the main topic, because we're waiting for a special guest on that, or a special panelist, as I should say, we got news that we're getting another Amityville movie. I know you guys were looking forward to this, right?
Was this number 4 in the very
100
versions of it?
Oh my goodness.
400 is more like it. Well, we have what you would say is like, yeah, the original. If you're talking about the ones based on the book, there's two versions of that, and then that series has a few movies, and then they skewed off because Amityville, of course, is not necessarily copyrightable, so you can do a loose adaptation as much, and that's kind of sounds like what they're doing here. So what's the gist of this? This is completely unrelated to the DeFeo case. It's completely unrelated to the Amityville horror film from 1977 or its book that it's based on. It's a completely different take. So in other words, it's just going to be another one of those garbage Amityville movies. But the reason it's a big deal is because this guy is a huge producer, and it looks like the team is, I should say.
This is Roy Lee, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's huge.
Yeah.
I've been
Joseph
getting
and
my
Vanessa
stuff
Winter.
in his hands for the last year now.
Not Roy Lee. It's Joseph and Vanessa Winter is here.
Okay. Those are the people. Yeah. Well, Roy Lee is a producer of Barbarian. But yeah. These are the.
But they've worked on all sorts of stuff over 30 some titles in the last few years, including stuff like the original Megan and its sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Take that as you will. Barbarian, of course, Vengeance, Hard Eyes, which was a pretty not big, but a moneymaker last year? I think it came out. Or was it this year?
I can't remember Heart Eyes, to be honest.
That was the one that I remember we had to do with Valentine's Day, but I can't remember if it had come out this year or last year.
I think it was last year.
Yeah, it might have been. And then Freaky and a few other ones. So I don't know if anybody's looking forward to an Amityville movie, but what have you guys to say about this?
I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, give me a pitch of what they're doing different. Maybe I'll be interested, but outside of that.
Oh, you want to know?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The genre, blah 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 blah. Okay, here we go.
So a thriller?
Well, you're probably familiar with the Amityville horror film franchise going back to the late 70s and 77's installer, bestseller of a book from Jay Anson. The film has nothing to do with any of that IP, as I've stated, but let's go on. Its roots are instead in the famed real-life paranormal story behind those stories, with the film offering a fresh look at the notorious Amityville house itself on 112 Ocean Avenue. They said itself twice in a row. They type like I do. And Script actually knows that because he's proofreading my shit. And he's like, dude, you said that twice. And the legend situated in the public domain. But that tale begins in 1974 when Ronald DeFeo Jr. murdered his parents and 4 siblings at their home and blamed it on the devil. A year or so after the horrific crime, George and Kathy Lutz, along with their 3 children, moved into the house unaware of this dark past. And shortly after settling in, they claimed to experience a series of unsettling paranormal phenomena. Among them, unexplained noises, a pig, cold spots, a hole in the wall and the floor, or something like that, foul orders, and sightings of strange apparitions. Pigs. After
like
20,
poltergeist.
yeah, basically. After just 28 days, the family fled the house, unable to endure the alleged supernatural occurrence, and unable to endure the alleged supernatural occurrence any longer. We are told that neither the DeFeo murders nor the Lutz story factor into the story here.
And why even talk about it?
I know. So this is a completely fresh take, a modern film, because that is said here somewhere.
This is clearly an article that's paid for by the Word.
Yeah, it is. It is basically, just a complete clusterfuck of an article. But at the end of the day, they're doing some basic kind of sequel that does take place. So since it is, maybe you have to actually pay for the franchise to do it at the house itself. That might be the case. But if you're doing that, this to me almost sounds like, I don't see any here where they actually had to pay anybody for anything. So I don't know. It just sounds like another one of those straight to video or streaming sequels that we already have 20,000 of.
Sounds like a movie. It sounds like they're doing the same type of movie take that they do when they title a movie Salem. Oh, what's it going to be about? It's going to be some sort of witch hunt allegory, that type of thing.
Yeah. Mo, any feelings on this, or even an Amityville fan at all, or anything like that?
I thought some of them were fun to watch, just like like watching Hellraiser sequels. It's like, well, this is stupid fun, but I have no interest, like honestly, and especially if they're going to stray away from the movie source material. I just
honestly, the one story that really, they did in the sequel kind of tell the true story, the murders, but it was kind of, what do you call it? They changed the names, they changed some of the events, and they definitely...
Based on a true story.
Yeah, they really leaned into a few things and didn't get into other things. So it's like, they've never really done one that's been, like, actually based really well, on the actual case, right?
Well, then I'm going to do it, and I'm going to call it Calamityville. And it's
Calamityville!
And it's going to be a comedy.
There you go. Actually, you should just do that as a fucking parody, man. Unfortunately, parody films, they're out of style right now, but you never know.
Hey, Hulu or Netflix.
Yeah, write it and just sit on it. Calamityville. I think I like that. And you can just make fun of a lot of those haunted house and haunting films and exorcism type films, and because that's really about where these lie, in my opinion. So yeah,
pretty much. And it could be at 115, Ocean Drive Street or whatever it is. It's across the street from the Amityville house.
It's in the same town that Jaws attacked.
Yeah, there you go.
Amity means friendship. So yeah, that's a kind of a non-story, but I just thought it was kind of funny because there's really not much else going on besides Emmy nominations and them griping about how non-diverse they are. They're like down 28% this
Warner
year.
Brothers almost got 200.
Yeah, Warner's coming in hot.
Yeah,
I'm kind of surprised because that means that the television side of things aren't showing as much ZDS as Hollywood is. But yeah, the Emmys were complaining because the nominations and hosting are down 18% in diversity from last year.
That's funny because like nearly 30% of the quote unquote diversity in Hollywood has actually been has left because nobody's hiring them.
Or they've been shit canned.
Contracts aren't renewed. That's one way.
Yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah. But anyhow, as we wait for Mike here, so yeah, let's kind of bring everybody up to speed on what's going on with the South Park thing after we get into these super chats here. We got John Evan Retro Guy Bear, sorry, sending in $6.99. Does that mean you're a Canadian Retro Bear? Some people will get that joke. The Batman fanboys on Reddit think there will be a Battinson and DCU Batman going at the same time.
That's a good joke.
The only reason, and I think Script probably agrees with this too, in a sense, that the only reason they're even considering still probably doing this is because that it'll probably be a little bit before James Gunn's Batman gets off the ground. So this movie will be hopefully done and out in theaters and on streaming and long forgotten by the time Batman Brave and the Bold comes out. That's my guess. I mean, otherwise, the longer it takes, the less chance it has.
I mean, it's already 4 years late for a feature
Exactly.
film.
Yeah.
I'll put it to you this way: if the Batman 2 gets made, it's going to be with a button up at the end, and the only way we'll see more entries into that franchise is if it starts to cross or meet up to the metric that Warner Brothers has set for it based on other DCU films that have been released between now and that one. So we don't know what Superman's going to be. His final total is going to be. We don't know what Supergirl or Clayface's final total is going to be. But when we figure out a metric from those three films, if the Batman Part 2 gets made and gets released, which are big ifs given how long it's taken, that's basically going to determine whether it's will be a continuing franchise or just that second entry and then concluded.
I mean, stateside, the movie's doing all right. Overseas, it's doing very soft to not so great. So we'll see. But we have Mikey joining us.
That is also kind of normal with international audiences because you guys, you did a video on that yesterday or today?
Yesterday, I think we dropped. No, we dropped it today, but I think I did it yesterday. Yeah.
But yeah, like international audiences, it took a long time for them to pick up on Marvel. They generally don't like superhero films.
Yeah, that's pretty much the point of the video. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And heck, you and I were talking about this like 3-4 days ago about how similar this might be to Batman Begins because that had a soft release, but then the Dark Knight sequel just exploded.
That's funny. You mentioned that Script. I haven't watched the video yet. I thought of that myself because when Batman Begins, it was coming off a huge stigma of Cape movies, DC movies. Batman and Robin, Superman is repeating that same history. They're in that uphill battle position where, as great as Batman Begins was, a lot of people forget it had really low opening weekend numbers. And if you adjusted for inflation, probably wouldn't be that much different to 2025 Superman. So yeah, it was always gonna kind of be this way. I never really understood why people aim so high with it. I never got. So that said, though, the movie still needs to show that it has legs as far as the international market goes.
It did all right today or yesterday. I mean, I don't know what it's done today yet.
Stateside. It did good stateside.
Yeah, it did another 12 million yesterday.
That's actually
that's
good.
Pretty good.
I will say a stateside hit is a good thing because that reminds Hollywood studios that there's still money here in America or North America. I did find it funny in one of the articles that said North America and Canada. I'm like, Canada is part of the continent, buddy.
That's counted in our box office.
But the better movies do domestically, the more investment you're going to get in them domestically, and less reliance on a worldwide market. I've been saying this for comedies. Personally, I would love it if if Superman, if it's well liked throughout the world, that it does get some great numbers and it continues on with this franchise. We have to wait and see what word of mouth is going to be like. But it's a weird time. But I enjoyed the film for what it was, despite some of its hiccups there.
Yeah.
But I think it goes in the right direction. It captures the spirit of what Superman should be. And we're definitely getting one more entry, so I'm hoping that this sticks out. We get to see it. It gets as much of a chance as the Snyderverse did.
It might stick out like Mikey does when he tries to stick it out at a
he's looking good today. Shouldn't. Look at him.
He is always looking good,
dashing.
But HR is always on his ass. Patrick Robinson sends in $4.99 and says Sydney Sweeney is being looked at to be the next Bond girl. I'm all for it. Hell yeah.
If that happens, any dude who watches that movie who has the actual name James, when she says the words "Oh James," those dudes are gonna have the biggest chubbies ever.
I think they'll skip right to the end if I'm honest. But
what is her Bond name, guys? Because you know there's always like Pussy Galore and
Oh, that's true.
Mikey.
We're talking about Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, you're on the wrong mic,
Melody
Mike.
Milk Jugs? I don't know.
Melons McGillicuddy.
Ooh, those are both pretty good. Nick?
Is that better?
Oh,
Oh, there you go. Better, Mike.
Woman.
Okay, her name would be
Oh,
Waiting
no,
for Mexican
female?
Iron Man.
Sorry, James. I'm taken already by the Mexican Iron Man. You're right. He's twice the man I am. Dun, 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 dun,
That's
dun,
if it's
dun,
Daniel
dun.
Craig. Yeah.
Oh, you don't know shit.
Malones Magnificas.
No, Handy Fuller. That'll be her name.
Handy Fuller. I like that's pretty good. That actually sounds like one. Flying Blind on a Rocket Cycle says on a very special episode of Extreme Makeover, they flip a house in Amityville. Oh God, I'd actually watch. There's the beginning of your movie script
Amityville,
right there. Little did they know it was the infamous house. So anyway, we have Mexican Iron Man here, and it's been a while. So let's play real quick his theme song. Well, one of them. He's the only man I know with multiple theme songs. Olay. All right.
I'm appropriating my culture.
You are. You're totally. Is that really cultural appropriation then?
Well, I'm wearing a white shirt and I'm wearing a Mexican sombrero, so that means I'm the white man appropriating my brown culture.
Gotcha. All right. So one of the reasons I asked you here to be specifically here tonight, because you're always welcome, you know that, but you're busy bee.
It's been a rough year.
Yes.
Rough year. Dad's
and I know you're busy.
It's been a rough year.
And with that, I asked you specifically if you could try and make it tonight because we got a very complicated mess going on over at Paramount right now. And it could possibly be the guys at South Park who are blowing the lid off this thing. Now I'll try and give you guys the quick breakdown of this because the guys over at Bleeding Fool did a great job. James Quinn over there did a write-up on it. Because this also includes Digman, whatever the hell that is. I haven't seen it myself, so I can't speak to it. But basically, what it sounds like, the short version, is that Skydance is basically cock-blocking other companies from bidding on the streaming rights to South Park. And they have done a deal with, I think Ellison was involved and a few other people from Skydance. And they haven't even technically taken over the company yet. And so basically, Matt and Trey have lawyered up with one of the biggest lawyers in Hollywood. I'm trying to get his name here. I'm trying to remember. This is heating up. This is a very complicated situation. I don't know if you know much about it. We can go in and read in the stories if you want, because there's also a Cracked article that kind of brings it a little bit more up to speed. But this started roughly 2 months ago. But I think Matt and Trey themselves kind of seen it coming with the whole streaming wars special.
Well, you're talking around it. Let's get to the give the people at home a quick, tight summary of what we're talking about here.
Okay, so, and I thought I kind of did, but maybe I didn't do it well enough. But basically, it sounds like the people at Skydance are literally cock blocking the show from being bid on by other streamers, and thereby limiting the amount of money that
They'll be compromising the
Park
$900 million deal that Matt and Trey signed with. Now you may get me doing it. Matt and Trey signed with Paramount
right?
years ago, because what they're doing is that the streaming rights for the show are up for renewal or renegotiation, and Skydance is putting themselves between that option for renegotiation for other people that want to bid on showcasing South Park on their streaming platform.
So what they put out is they sent a letter, a cease and desist to Paramount and Skydance, basically, saying their company, Park County, hereby demands that you, Redbird, Skydance, immediately cease your interference. If these activities continue, we will have no choice but to act to both protect our rights and discharge any obligations we have to the public. Now, since this was written, there's been a little bit of an update. Because Paramount just came out and said, oh, we're just doing what's within our legal rights. And they're like, no, you're not. And that's when they lawyered up. So this looks like it might be going to court, and the delay on South Park might be longer than we expect. But that part aside, So now, Mikey, what this is all about is a very complicated takeover of Paramount. And even Trump, I guess, come out and said that he dealt directly with the people over at Skydance, nobody at Paramount. So what kind, we talked a little bit about this earlier on Pro, and I know you caught that. So give us an overview of what you're seeing here as far as from a corporate standpoint of, is it legal? Are they able to really do this? Or do Matt and Trey have something to kind of stand on here?
Here's my, okay, so here's my perspective. First of all, Sundance, let's get to the meat of
Skydance, yeah.
I'm sorry, Skydance. Skydance has been as a casual consumer, Skydance, and not an expert in finance or theaters, and definitely not an expert in losing money on theater stock or on entertainment stocks, which I am an expert in that. But from where I sit, Skydance has not been helpful to the value proposition that is modern day Paramount. While they may have been in a lot of things that made money, and they may have participated in a lot of things that didn't make money, I don't see them as being a huge value add to Paramount. Now, this transaction's in motion, this transaction's happening. Obviously, they've got their, little hooks in this, hooks in Paramount. I have two comments. Comment number one is that the leadership of Paramount is and has been for quite some time ridiculously inept at anything overall from a corporate success vision standpoint. There have been a lot of execs that have come and gone and have tried to get fat checks for things that they did and didn't do well, and we can go through that laundry list, which we've done exhaustively on this show between you and Script, Nick, and everybody else.
Everything from South Park to TMNT to Transformers,
everything. It has exhaustively been covered on this channel, the Paramount properties of where the studio's at. Because if you look at the inventory, the library of Paramount is truly blue chip. It's like when you sit back and you look at what they have, it's like Library of Congress level stuff, and it's diverse and it's all over the map and it's in every genre. But yet, my first point is that their executives, their studio heads, their owner, Redstone, all the way down and sideways and up and down, have done an absolutely piss poor job of stewarding this company with all of its blue chip brands in the library, in the inventory of
including
IPs
things like SpongeBob and other Nickelodeon programs. So you're not wrong. Yeah.
All of it. Now, my second comment has to do with what Skydance is doing. Now, normally, what's supposed to happen is that I come in to buy, Tom is Paramount, I'm Skydance. I come in to buy Midnight's Edge After Dark, and we're talking about it, and we got a term sheet, and we're making some moves. But the transaction hasn't been consummated, and which is a big process. You need approvals, you need lawyers. Look, Script can go into that all day.
And that's where Trump gets involved, right?
There's all kinds of things that have to happen, right? And so normally a guy like me couldn't come over here and say, just run Tom's show and tell Tom what it's going to be. And for example, hey, Script, you don't need to DM Tom on Twitter. I already talked to Tom, and this is when we need you, and this is when you're going to show up.
Yeah.
Nick, I know we said that I know you're a regular and you're like a godfather here on this show, but you know what? I like this Mo Zamboni guy a lot. And Nick, we only need you on Tuesdays.
Only Tuesdays, Mo.
I like it. I like where we're going here.
And Mo, because you're such an amazing new talent and value add on the show, you are going to get Mexican Iron Man's limo, and you're going to get his VIP passes to Cheetah's nightclub, Gentleman's Club on Friday night, since I can't make Friday nights anyways because I go gun training on Saturday.
That's worth a lot, by the way.
Meanwhile, Tom's sitting there with his $1.95 stock of Midnight's Edge After Dark / Paramount. Wires have not happened. Tom has not bought his Bentley or Mercedes, and he's still living in Wisconsin and can't make the down payment for his new chateau that's going to be in, the south of France.
You weren't supposed to tell everybody that. Oh, never mind. You're making an analogy. My bad.
Oh, it's definitely an analogy. Although I am down to give Mo and Nick some of my weekend cheetah passes. Anyway, I digress. So here we have a situation where they're basically acting like they own this thing already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and they're doing things they shouldn't do, such as use their egos and their desire for money and their desire for clout to get in the middle of these guys, the South Park guys, the South Park creators,
Right.
Trey and Matt, they're lodging themselves and wedging themselves in between Trey and Matt's ability to A, give us more episodes when we want them, which is sooner rather than later, and B, get in the way of their money for what they can do with their rights.
Right. And I was going to say maybe a shorter analogy to this would be like if you're selling your house and the guy who's going to buy your house hasn't paid you for it yet, but just decides to come in and start remodeling.
Yes.
Without asking you, and just you're just like, oh, hi, Greg, what are you doing in here? Oh, I'm just gonna finish off the kitchen the way I want it. It's like,
hi,
well, you haven't
Tom,
quite
I'm in
paid
charge
for it
now.
yet.
I'm just gonna make a few changes here.
Yeah.
Go ahead and
yeah, you haven't paid for it yet,
I'm just
motherfucker.
gonna go
Like,
yeah, I'm gonna remodel Midnight's Edge After Dark here.
the bank has to approve this. I mean, we're a little bit of ways from this yet. Yeah,
Look,
no,
I'm
I think
remodeling. See?
So I think that's kind of basically what it's getting at, and I think that's a really good way of kind of saying that, yeah, this is what's going on. And it sounds like it's not just them, but it sounds like they're the only ones, at least at this moment in time, who have not only the balls, but probably the backing with money and everything like that, and popularity over, because they are one of the flagship properties at Paramount, right? South Park is very lucrative, especially the streaming deal, and that's why they're cock blocking this. Because this deal is as big as like the Friends deal or the Office deal that you would hear about for Netflix, right? So that's what they're arguing, is that they could go out and probably sell this thing to like Netflix or Amazon for a shit ton of money. But Paramount come in and said, no, we got the rights to this now. We're going to give you this much and that's what you're going to take. Or they were going out and they were getting in the way of their other negotiations with other people. Like they were trying to make it for less time, like 5 years and not 10 years and other things like that. Put other caps on it. So that's my understanding of what's actually going on. Now, the legality of that's kind of where we're getting into, like, are you able to really do that? And I think we kind of explained that with our little house and your longer analogy about Midnight's Edge being a studio. But, I mean, can these guys really get involved with these negotiations at all?
Oh, legally, they're not supposed to. But the fact of the matter is, due to Paramount inept leadership and lack of having a captain at the Paramount ship, these guys are the only money on the table. And so they're going to do whatever they want to do pre, post, and during transaction, is what I think. And that happens sometimes. There's when you have a weak target, all right. So you have acquirer and you have the acquisition target. When you have a weakened acquisition target that's just happy to be in existence and happy to, unload its problems, guess what? The buyer starts taking control of everything as soon as they want, under the guise of a smooth transition.
Right.
Now,
you know what this reminds? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. Go.
You know what this reminds me of? Like, there's a lot of beats that sound very familiar to something that happened about, I can't believe it's been like more than 15 years at this point, I think, was when Sirius acquired XM and Howard Stern started just suing the crap out of everybody at the company. You would think there would be like a bylaw that said he couldn't do that, but he knew they were in a compromised position. Now, I'm an Opie and Anthony fan for life, so screw Howard Stern. But
no, but I get your I think this is a very similar situation. It might be.
So, but
because that had to do with his contracts and him getting I think the better deal too, and I think they were. I don't remember the specifics, but I think it had something to do with that.
But he had all the chips. Just like Trey and Matt have all the chips. And I think that's, if I don't want to put words in your mouth, Mikey, but that sounds like where you're going with this. It's like, legally, can they do that? I don't know, but they have all of the power in this situation and they know it. And they've been at this. I remember recording South Park episodes when I was in high school, and I'm not young. So I'm just saying, I think they're at this point, they're just ready to flex if they think something's wrong. And
well,
if they have to end it, I think they're okay with that.
And correct me if I'm wrong, either, Mike or Script, in this situation, like in these usual like transitional periods, it's not abnormal to have like somebody from the new company there as part of the plan, to have a vote, a say, obviously, because they're the ones buying the house, right? To go with my analogy. But at the same time, you usually have somebody like a Sherry Redstone who's representing the original company. And that's the other problem here. Is that not only is Sherry doing a shitty job of representing the original company and shareholders and getting them the best deal they can, because she's already probably facing a shit ton of lawsuits, but I think she's at this point where she's like, fuck it, I'm going to die soon anyway, so screw all of you. Because for those who don't know, she's not in the best of shape right now, and I don't know how much longer she has. And I think she's kind of writing this whole thing off as like she's trying to get out of this and just do what she can for herself, and the rest be damned, because by the time everything starts to hit court, she'll probably have croaked or be in a position where it doesn't really phase her. I don't know. Like, I don't know what you think about that, but like, this has gotten to a point, because she's just pretty much non-existent in this whole thing, it feels like, from what I've heard.
Bro, she's been non-existent for the last 5 to 10 years in a meaningful way.
Absolutely.
Bro, she's been non-existent for 10. I want to hear what Script thinks. Script, what do you think of all this?
Well, I think it's,
or if you've even heard anything, actually. Sorry.
No. I mean, I've only heard little bits and pieces, because this is actually like low priority on the gossip side of things for at least my neck of the woods in the industry. But yeah, so Skydance is actually they're really overplaying their hand right now, and this lawsuit could further compromise closing their deal with Paramount, because you have something that Matt and Trey might explore, which is like infringement on property rights regarding distribution. And it's kind of arrogant of them. But then again, Skydance has been pretty arrogant, because they've been the ones financing the majority of Paramount films for the last decade or so. So they kind of feel like they own the studio as it is right now. They just need now formalizing it. Shari has been a ghost ever since she remerged the company. And I mean, I'm just so disappointed, because when she remerged everything, she had a perfect opportunity to not only clean house, but to like pick up all the pieces that are being ejected out of all the other studios because they weren't conforming to the ideology of the time, and basically revitalize the studio, because it's not just their existing IP catalog that they have, but Paramount has got over 200 original screenplays that all are really good, that they haven't moved on development yet, and they should have, and they're just sitting there. And stuff like this, actions like this, just further shows that there's not a competent person in the administration wing of Paramount or Skydance, and it's just tragic.
Well, and to be fair, like somebody hinted in the chat, I've heard the same rumor that she does have cancer. So now, like, when I say she's checked out, I mean that literally. But Mikey's not wrong, where like she was well-bodied for years, and she was like mentally checked out on this company, and she's done everything just for herself and for her own self-preservation, and or to try and save face in some way. Now, because it wasn't even her that made the mistake of splitting the company up in the first place, but the way she remerged it after her dad split it up was a complete fucking disaster. And since then, the company has just been, in my opinion, vulnerable and compromised, and that's where Skydance came in and took over. Because as you guys just pointed out, and I say famously, I guess infamously or whatever, that Skydance is the reason Paramount is in this fucking position. Besides their own stupidity with what few franchises they do have that they could do stuff with, as you just pointed out, Script, earlier, a good 80% or more of their output in the last, I'd say almost 2 decades now, has been Skydance produced. And outside of what, the Mission Impossible films, maybe, is there anything you can really point to that's been lucrative? I mean, this is the same company that helped destroy Star Trek, for instance.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm going to throw an analogy out. Like when I look at Kurtzman, how Paramount just let him, you've always used the analogy, Tom, that like Kurtzman gets to do what he wants to do because they think that he's doing them a favor. Well, guess what? The kind of corporations have personalities. The kind of corporate personality that lets a guy like Kurtzman come in and do them a favor with one of their valued IPs and turn it into crap is the same kind of corporate culture that, guess what? We'll let Skydance come in and let them do what they want because they feel that Skydance is doing them a favor.
Yeah, I can see that.
It is true. It's true. You got to look at it from a corporate personality standpoint. Yeah. Corporations have culture. They have mentalities. And if the mentality is like, oh my God, Kurtzman's here and he's going to take care of this thing over here for us. And okay, just give him money, let go. When you have strong leadership at the top, that kind of horse shit doesn't happen.
Indeed. Yes. So where do we see this going? Like, I think you're right that this is going to probably get in the way of a possible merger. Oh, actually, before we jump to that, because Nick's been quiet and Mo too, a little bit, he said a few things, but I want to get you guys kind of involved in this too. And I know you're not really into the corporate stuff, but how is this affecting you guys as just simple fans, right? Because I'm assuming both of you are probably South Park fans, or maybe even fans of other. Because, like, for instance, I was asked just today about what's going on with that TMNT Ronin film. Is like, as far as I know, it was full steam ahead until this fucking Skydance Paramount merger, and I've been hearing what Script's been hearing, and that is everything has come to a complete goldarn dead halt at the company, pretty much, that wasn't already pretty much in production or far enough ahead already. So we're almost at like a same place where Fox and Disney was when Disney bought Fox, in a weird way, when they killed all the projects that were, not far enough along. Yeah. So I don't know, how does this affect you guys as people who are waiting for this supposedly finished season of South Park and maybe some of these other shows and movies that might be getting affected by this? Let's start with you, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely obviously unfortunate that this is where it's come to. It's not surprising in the least. I hope these guys can just all get in a room and just hash it out, and hopefully a handshake on a deal, and let's get these things out. Let's try to get, hopefully a decent adaptation of The Last Ronin out. I mean, I hate creative stuff not being put out from stuff that I actually want to see. And considering we're still kind of in the, I guess you could say we're starting to see the other side of, the dark ages. We're starting to have some, really good stuff pop up. Well, I want more of it. And I don't want something hindering on more of a good thing. And I have been having actually a renewed interest in South Park lately. So please, guys, get it together. Please. I couldn't tell you how all this mambo jumbo works. I'm just a guy who looks at things from a fan perspective. I know a little bit about numbers, but that's at like a very basic 2 + 2 = 4 level. Other than that, guys, hash it out. Get something going. I'm sure Trey Parker and Matt Stone are pretty negotiable guys. There's a reason why they stuck around as long as they have.
Mo, what's your feelings on this as mostly somebody from the fan standpoint, I guess?
Well, as somebody who actually has worked in financial marketing, was part of mergers and acquisitions.
Oh, I did not know that.
My own company.
Go ahead and give that too, if you want some insight on that.
It's not exactly thrilling commentary when you talk about how you get shifted around and your responsibilities change, and somehow you end up with all the jobs and none of the money, as it happens in finance, ironically. But I'm not surprised. It like, I was annoyed with it 15 years ago when I had to put up with this crap in real life. So I can only imagine, that was some smaller firms acquired by a slightly larger firm. This is a humongous thing. So to me, I'm just looking at this like, this is not going to go down well. This is going to be a shit show forever. That's going to have litigation far beyond whatever happens after the fact. So to me, it's just like, there's going to be massive problems with this merger. If this is how it starts off, it's never going to get any better, especially when one of your biggest one of your biggest proponents, the people that hold all the chips, put up a post and say the merger is a shit show. That's not good. Your investors aren't going to be like, well, let me double down on this stock, So it's, to me, the whole thing just looks awful, and it's just like it's one of those ones where you just shake your head. You're just like, what are we doing here? It's just like, is it? So for somebody that has had that experience in that area and having that multiplied times 1,000, I'm just to me, I'm just grabbing my popcorn and leaning back, and I'm gonna, from a financial merger standpoint, I'm just gonna enjoy whatever comes from this way more than whatever's gonna come from the company. So
yeah, because actually that kind of leads nicely into the next part of the question here for the panel and especially Mike and maybe Script and maybe even you on this if you're familiar with it, and not to single out Nick and I, will just sit back and listen to y'all wax about it if we have to. But like, I guess the big question on everybody's mind in the chat and ourselves is, how long could this stretch things out? Could this really get in the way of the merger? How many years could this take for them to sort this all out, unless they just settle it somehow? I mean, is that kind of what we're looking at here? Let's start with you, Mike.
Oof.
And of course, you're just speculating, to be clear. But
right.
Yeah.
So well, here's the thing. So for them to hire, I was curious to what law firm they hired. That would tell me a lot about how serious.
Let me get the name here. I had it here. It's the guy who does like Quentin Tarantino and a bunch of other big people in Hollywood.
Oof. So he does entertainment litigation. He's
Yes.
just not. He's not a corporate attorney with the litigation department. They're literally entertainment litigators.
Brian Friedman.
Oh,
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
Big name lawyer.
he's pretty notable.
Yeah, kind of.
Isn't he like Tom
That's like-
Cruise's lawyer
That's
or
like
some
Johnny
shit like that too, or
Cochran in
something?
criminal.
Yeah.
That's like Johnny Cochran in criminal defense back in the day. All right.
Yes.
So that tells me Trey and Matt are spending one, they're spending serious money. Two, they're pissed. Because when you hire him to go after Paramount, that's like putting a flag in the freaking ground for sure. That's not just somebody writing a letter. That's like, look, man, we got somebody with a button on a detonator, and like we're all right. So basically, what I'm telling you is like shit like this, because here's what Skydance could do. They could come back and say that they want to engage in litigation, and then they have to get some kind of settlement. And but you could be looking at no South Park for on the worst. Look, best case scenario, this thing rolls itself up in 6 to 18 months. Highly unlikely. Moderate to worst case scenario, you're looking at no new shit for 3 to 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, unless
like,
there's
What do you
one.
think about that script? What do you think
Well,
about
I was
my
just gonna say
script?
before Script does take it, I can't say for sure on this, but I think they might control home video release. So here's my guess at what might happen is they keep it from Paramount and they just put it on video. Could you see that happening, Script, and then go ahead and wax on the rest of it? Because I think they do own that, right? Because that's what they're arguing over is the distribution rights right now, and streaming is the main one. Yeah.
Gosh, that's a tough one. That's a really tough one because they could put it on video, but the sales numbers are, I mean, Skydance can actually hold them to the fire on that because the sales numbers of video are actually really low. And where you can get them is actually also pretty limited now.
But all that aside, I was just saying as a way of us seeing it, them getting around Paramount.
Yeah, I mean, you could.
Because let's be real, the problem I was getting, and the only reason I bring that up, not to disrupt your train of thought, is that these shows are already produced, and as you know, all of us know, they're generally timely. And I think that's why they're getting agitated, is because we've seen the previews of these shows. There's stuff in here, like with Kanye, and it's like, this stuff needs to come out before it's too late, or it's going to not be funny anymore, or it's not going to be relevant anymore. Or, you know what I mean? Like, I hate to say not funny, because that's not true, because it can still be funny, but relevant, I think was the word I was looking for. So I think I broke Script Doctor.
Oh, I didn't. Oh,
He'll be
you
back.
kind of petered out there at the end on my side. But
I said, I guess relevant and it's for the timely fashion that these shows usually come out is what I meant. Yeah.
oh yeah, I mean they're very much topical, but they're written in such a way that you can actually go back to older seasons and laugh still. I don't think it's really going to deter Matt and Trey because they put their stuff together so quickly that all they'll do is just skip jokes. I mean, they took a significant time off when Trump was elected. Didn't really hurt the popularity of the show that much, as far as I can tell. This lawsuit, however, is going to be very juicy material for them when it gets resolved and they're able to start making episodes again. So you have that to look forward to. But again, their legal team, this guy is not going to let go until his clients win. So it could be the better part of a decade before this gets resolved, especially considering how slow the courts move.
Or is that why they got him involved? Is because it better chance of some kind of settlement out of this whole thing?
So
Get it quickly.
I don't know about that. I think
there's
the real
intimidation
issue
behind it, but I don't know about that.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know about that either, because if I were in their shoes, I would be like, look, get this merger done. Let's talk business and shop. Because if I'm these guys, they want to do this stuff another 10, 20 years. So they're probably at this point, they got enough money in the pocket now where short-term money doesn't matter. What they care about is they care about their long-term wealth legacy money. They care about the big checks down the road in terms of this content.
Yeah, they're still financing Casa Bonita in Colorado.
Yeah.
Like they need money for that.
Yeah,
Which
so-
is kind of another side of this because their Casa Bonita people are now unionizing against them, I guess, or some shit. I don't know. But that's a whole other side of this. Sorry, go ahead, Mike. My bad.
No. That's all I was going to say. All I was going to say is that the thing is that if I'm Trey and Matt, they've got enough cash. They've already made the money they're going to make on what they've done now, and they've got their obligations. So now they're looking at the big picture. If they hired this guy, what they want is they want freedom to make money any way, in shape or form, and they want freedom to make that money. And if I were them, I'd wait. If it took 3 to 7 years to wiggle my way out, it'd take 3 to 7 years to wiggle my way out.
Mm-hmm. So you think Paramount won't back down, is what you're saying there, or at least not likely?
It's not about Paramount. It's about what is the Skydance assholes going to do.
Oh, Skydance, yeah.
And if they are of the corporate mindset where they think, hey, we're going to buy this thing, we're already in charge. Just that alone, that kind of mentality tells you that they're acting like plantation owners. They think, hey, we own these guys. We're buying Paramount. They're part of Paramount. We're going to tell them what it is, and they're going to shut the hell up because we're now in charge of Paramount.
Interesting, yeah, and
that's
I can
what
see
I
that.
think. Well, doesn't that make sense?
Yeah,
and it could lead to their downfall. I mean, not in downfall and failure as a company, but just in what they're trying to achieve. They might not get the goal that they want.
Mm-hmm. Well, is there anything more you guys have to say about this, Nick or Mo or anybody else?
I got nothing. I said my piece.
All right, Mo, anything more to add?
Like I said, I think I'll enjoy the litigation and the merger process more than anything they're going to put out in the next few years.
And you like the new direction, huh? Already, you can see improvements. That's good.
Yeah,
that's good. We got Pam Hill, who's become a new member. She's liking the new improvements too. Look at that. Thank you, Pam. What level is this? Because we usually do a special thing over here on this side. Let's see here. What was it?
Minimum effort puppy.
Ooh, Mikey's favorite.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oldie but goodie.
They changed everything on me here. Now I got to find it.
Did someone organize your dashboard? Oh, that right there is my employee minimum effort puppy this year in 2025. That's a live shot of my entire staff working this year.
I'm so sorry, Mike.
Then CG King of Comics says, keep crossing EVS and Comicsgate, and we will take this channel down. And the big one, we are ready. Don't mess with Comicsgate. Ooh.
Oh, no!
In to tell us this, so yeah.
I don't think they're on our radar right now, but
they're in a they're just fighting with themselves at this point. Mexican Iron Man, who's on the panel, says this is to remind Tom that Zack Snyder, Ridley Scott, and James Cameron are greater than Quentin Tarantino. Don't fire me. You're allowed to have a bad opinion.
That was to trigger you. Are you triggered?
Not really.
Oh, doggone it. That was my triggering comment.
I'm not in a triggering mood today. I don't know why.
You're so mellow. Golly.
I retract my last statement.
Okay, watch. Hold on. I'm going to trigger you now. Okay, everybody get ready. Ready? Watch this. Watch this. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Zack Snyder.
Sucks.
It's over.
Oh, this is no fun at all.
He used Star Wars in space as a comp. What an idiot.
He's doing a movie on Netflix about a SWAT team. Not even SWAT, just a SWAT team.
Zack Snyder movies are why bad things
John, the retro guy bear, just suspended me without pay for Midnight's Edge After Dark. Breaking news, John.
That means I'm not going to get paid, damn it.
Breaking news, John. I've been suspended without pay on Midnight's Edge After Dark for 5 years.
You have no idea how bad that is for me. I have to already duck and dodge HR for him.
You duck, you dodge.
Duck, dive, dodge.
Dodge
a wrench, you can dodge.
Dodge.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge HR.
Oh, Dodgeball's such a good movie.
It is.
Still is a good movie. 21 years later, no one makes.
They've got people coming out, don't they?
Do they?
I think so.
Really? I know they were talking about it, but I just always thought it was one of those things where they just talk. You know what I mean?
Conversation.
I thought as soon as Happy Gilmore 2 got greenlit their side of things, they started getting more momentum on this Dodgeball 2.
Maybe.
I hope so.
For like Netflix, like straight to streaming, or is that Fox or Universal? I'd say Fox. I think put that out, didn't they?
Feels like a Fox movie, if memory serves. It's been a while.
Yeah. Yeah. I know it's been a while since I've heard about that. So like that's what I was kind of trying to. Yeah. Well, maybe we'll see soon. I know I saw some of the Spinal Tap stuff. Did you guys see the clips that I shared in the?
I did not.
chat?
Dude, such a crazy busy
one of them,
day.
that little.
Sure.
That's the idea of them doing a stunt for the last show. That pitch, that was brilliant.
That's from the movie, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm kind of afraid to show it because it is technically a bootleg.
I will say the title is brilliant.
Yeah. All right. Fuck it. It's late enough in the show. I guess if we get claimed for it or something, I'll just clip it out because this was pretty fucking funny. Now, Mikey, you seen Spinal Tap before or not?
No.
Nope. He said no, but he's muted. So
No.
nope,
Oh, you
okay.
should, sir. You should.
Yeah, you should. It's funny as hell. It's got a couple of guys from like SNL and
Oh yeah, I know
Mike
all about it.
McKeon.
I've seen lots of clips.
Michael
I just
McKean,
never-
Okay.
Christopher Guest,
Okay.
Harry Shearer.
the Goes to 11, all that business. Okay, so you know what it is at least. And I'm assuming
I've seen
Mo,
all.
you've
I've basically seen the whole movie without seeing the whole movie in one sitting.
Gotcha. Mo, you've seen it, I assume.
Yeah. It was
Okay.
the only. Was it the only stage prop in danger of getting crushed by? Yeah.
By dwarf. And I'm sure Nick was raised on it, like they put it in his bottle.
Oh, dude, yeah. I wasn't drinking formula. I was drinking Spinal Tap.
That's right.
Band.
So, all right, let's hear what he had to say at the
it's,
Spinal Tap event last week.
2, the end continues. So,
then we'll
if
see the
you
clip.
Just sit back, you'll get a little taste of what that film will be, and hopefully you'll come see that as well. Thank you very much.
So do excuse the
If this is the
angles
final
and
gig
all
that
that.
Spinal Tap do, then what we need to do is secure your legacy. And the simplest, most effective way that we could do that is that if during the gig, at least one, but ideally no more than two of you were to die, that's what I call the Elvis effect. It really allows for a sort of late flowering of pretend die. I think that would complicate matters. It's easier if you just, if expire.
Do you mean actually die?
Yes, yeah.
Well, yeah, but I don't
It's a bit
want
hard
to arrange.
I appreciate that, but I think in terms of your legacy going forward, how you'll be remembered, how you'll be talked about, what effect that will have on record sales. I'm thinking documentaries. I'm thinking a huge memorial concert.
You can do that without actually killing one of us, though, can't you?
It's very difficult to do a memorial concert when the person is still alive. That's just a sort of rule of thumb.
Would you settle for a coma?
Oh, no, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, no, David,
It's really expensive.
that's a great bit of thinking outside. Well, a literal box, I suppose.
Yeah.
Actually.
So yeah. Hopefully the rest of the movie's like that. Then I'm not going to be worried because yeah. I was a little worried, but yeah, looking forward to that. There wasn't
That
Go ahead.
title, "The End Continues," is great.
the end continues. Yeah, there was another clip, but it was more to promote the re-release than anything. It was kind of funny too, but we can show that super quick. That wasn't very long either. If you guys want to check it out real quick.
Oh, is he talking the Zoom joke? The joke?
Yeah, the Zoom one.
Yeah, let's do
I mean,
it.
this was more to promote the re-release, but yeah.
Well, first of all, guys, we're going to do this promo, but I need to see you.
Well, it says I'm being seen. It says
yeah,
I can
you're
see
being-
you. I can see you now.
I see you.
You've seen me before. What do you need to see
No,
me
I
again?
have seen you before. I
I
do
know
know
what you're
what you
saying.
look like.
I'm getting reruns of The Biggest Loser on my screen.
I love that
Okay,
show.
well, we'll ignore that. We're re-releasing the
Biggest
film, and it's coming out.
What film?
This is Spinal Tap.
Oh my God. The film doesn't make us look very smart or talented or
Or sexy.
yeah.
Speaking of which, can you at least put the part about the zucchini out?
You mean take it out of the film?
Yeah, take it out.
Well, no, I can't because the film is finished. It's been, it's been around for 41 years. I just was hoping that you could all just say something nice and come to the theater or whatever.
I did like the music.
Okay, all right.
How's that?
If you want to get out of the heat and into a nice air-conditioned space, you could do worse than to see This Is Spinal Tap coming to a theater.
Yeah, I say the same.
No, you
Okay.
can't say the same because it's been said.
Oh, That was good.
I like how it's
really
the golden
good.
golden 41st anniversary.
There's a little bit more here. I just didn't want to get the music.
Wait a minute. David, I think you figured out how to work this thing.
Oh yeah, but it's I don't want to have it on myself because I don't look very good this morning. So this is a replica of me.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that is good. That was damn good.
Replica. Oh, I can't wait for this fucking movie. I hope it's good.
Me too.
I hope so too. I want it to. I need it to be good. I really do. I'll be ready to talk about that one when it comes out. I'll be making time for that one. That's for sure.
I'm looking forward to see what new songs they have done.
Yes, yes, because we haven't had a new Spinal Tap album since Break Like the Wind. They did do this other album, but all it was like reimaginings of their classic hits.
Something.
So it was
like
kind
that,
of a weird album, but yeah. So I'm looking forward to that too. That's true. Whatever new music they're gonna have. So, oh yeah, no, I'm hopeful for it. Because like I tried to tell people, I think Meathead can keep his politics out of a movie like this, hopefully, because he's never really injected them too much before. So we'll have to see. But with that, I think we're going to start wrapping this up here. Script, you have a show every Saturday called Script on Saturdays. You want to plug that at all or anything else?
Yeah. So this Saturday we're doing we're reviewing a screenplay called Fragments, which is about a young nurse that has to take care of a murder suspect who might be faking their Alzheimer's diagnosis to get out of jail time. So, it's supposed to be a nice little crime thriller. I'm hoping it's a good one. So check us out this week, Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern on my channel.
Oh, and we got a couple super chats here. I forgot to get to. I'm sorry about that, guys. Ace 1589 2001 says it in 5 and says, "You guys don't think Matt and Trey are worried about Tom Cruise wanting revenge for the Scientology episode?" Well, if he had more power and sway over at Paramount, maybe, but that's one of the reasons I heard those episodes are not shown in syndication very often and not available on streaming outside the US, I guess. So yeah, or if they're even available in the US. So yeah. And then Jeremiah Embry says, "Please talk about the Clayface update." Oh, there's an update? I did not know. I just know this coming. Let me see what's
I know they
going
have
on.
an actor.
That we reported on that. Let's see what else comes up.
I know
Recently.
Mike Flanagan wrote it. I can't remember the director's
There's a synopsis. Is that what you're talking about? Okay. All right, let's take a look here. Synopsis is. Nexus Point News states in their report that the film will be heavily inspired by the Batman animated series episode Feet of Clay, with Rise Harry's character being named Matt Hagen, like the one in the cartoon. This character will serve as an amalgamation of Hagen and with the backstory of Basil Karlo, the real name of Clayface in the comics. The story will start with Hagen as a handsome up-and-coming actor who is attacked and disfigured. That's according to this, anyway.
I wonder if they'll give credit to Marv Wolfman and Martin Pasco and Michael Reeves because they wrote that episode or worked on that episode on the screenplay side of things back in the 90s. And if they're just going to retell that story.
It goes on to say a little bit more here. There's like more paragraphs about the story itself. It says there's no larger connection to the DCU, though. And that we knew is that it was going to be a Elseworlds kind of movie or whatever you call it, like the Joker and the Batman.
That was the scuttlebutt, yeah.
So all right, well, yeah, maybe it's based loosely on that episode and some other inspiration from the comics. So we'll see how it turns out. I'm not the biggest.
If it is based off the animated episode, if it's based off an animated episode,
the animated two-parter, where
oh, please, it would
really
be amazing.
good.
I love it. I love the design. I love the character arc. So good. Please do it.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I mean, I was just going to say I'm not the biggest fan of the character, but if that's where they're going to draw inspiration from, go for it. Nick, I sound like you had something to say.
Not that I really want a Clayface like movie, but would it be good to do that as like a one-shot episode, 45-minute like HBO Max special? Yeah, especially if it's based off this story. Yeah, I think they should definitely try a little bit smarter with it. It's because I think that could definitely work to their advantage. The Penguin seems to have done fairly well on HBO Max, so I don't see why there wouldn't be an audience for something like that. But we don't need
by today's standards, yeah.
yeah, okay. Well, all right, for today's standard. So we don't really need a movie like this, especially when we still need to get to a Batman movie, a Wonder Woman movie, maybe a Justice League. It just seems like a really odd idea to do Clayface. And I say that as someone who's a fan of this character. I've read some cool comics with the character, and obviously I love how he's portrayed in animated series as well. So there's a lot to love actually on my side of the character. I have a killer action figure of him as well. A lot of cool story possibilities you can do there, but this is something that doesn't need to be a feature-length movie. And there's villains who I like more than him. I don't want those villains to be having a movie as well. This feels like we're going straight from like the Marvel equivalent, going from Captain America and Iron Man and saying, hey, let's give this Z-lister Spider-Man villain a movie. Even though
like The Ringer. Yeah. We get a movie of The Ringer.
Yeah,
I like
The Ringer.
Yeah, guys, Mike's got to leave. So,
but yeah,
Mike's got to go.
I gotta go.
Mike's got to head out.
Later,
so,
I gotta go.
Just real quick, up close, Mexican Iron Man looks like Butcher's dead bodies. Guys, are you sure he's an accountant? Maybe that's why he's got so many chicks. Well, that's because he's chiseled.
I didn't know I don't run a cartel.
This man runs and bikes and does more shit in a day than I do in a month.
That's why I look forward to where he takes this channel next. So.
Sorry, Nick, but yeah, so Mike's got to go real quick. Mike, love you, brother. Thanks for showing up tonight. I appreciate it. Anything to plug?
Nope, gotta go. Thanks for the super chat. Later.
Take care, brother.
Love you, bye.
All right. So with that, sorry. So Nick, you were saying, I'm sorry about that.
No. That was a very valid reason. Mike had to go. No, it's just we have a ton of heroes we need to not only do first, but also get right. And once again, if I wanted to even entertain this idea of a Clayface movie, not that I'd ever want, but this is something you should put out in a far more ideal market when you can take chances on stuff like that. Like that's honestly one of the few reasons why stuff like Ant-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy are able to take off, because they had from 2008 through 2013 several years of goodwill. Say, okay, all right, we could start getting to some of these more oddball type of characters. Mm-hmm. And I think that definitely played to its advantage. I'd even say Daredevil had that advantage of working to market between time from 2003 to 2015. The fact that the MCU is firing on all cylinders, even Daredevil needed that good market too. So yeah, Clayface needs a far, far better market. And right now, the Superman movie is in the Batman Begins phase of the market. And we need to get to a Dark Knight, Avengers 1 type of phase before we can do something like that. That's just my opinion, though.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, because you know this is a feature film, right? Like
I know. I know.
Okay. I figured you did, but I just wanted to bring that up.
Oh, yeah. No.
But I can also see the inspiration for behind this being more like it would. I could see, because I'm trying to remember. I remember the episode, but it's been years since I've seen it. But I'm trying to remember if there's a way they can twist this into like a Venom type character. Does that make sense?
No,
because Venom has a attachment to him that's alive.
Because otherwise, then I think it's just going to be more like the Joker was going to be my point. I think it's just going to be a one and done with a possibility of an open window. But
with Mike Flanagan having written it, you might be hitting closer to the pulse, especially if they're going to ape an animated series episode. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see how it plays out or what more development is there. You never know. Mike Flanagan has been pretty successful on Netflix with his television series, with his series over there. He might do well with this. Maybe that take is genuinely good. We'll have to wait and see, but
yeah, we don't know.
We're in a position where at Warner Brothers, where even if for whatever reason, like right now it's been greenlit because the script is good. They're in pre-production and development stage. If it keeps on going good, they're going to take it to the end. But if they end up getting a hiccup like they did with that other mystery film, which they haven't confirmed, which has been canceled yet, they'll pull the plug. So,
and I don't think this is it, because Zaslav just mentioned this one.
Yeah. No. This one is, I don't see it going. I don't see it vanishing anytime soon, actually. But it's always the case, because one of the things that's going to be really hard for them to do is the effects that's required for a character like Clayface. And
Well,
you have, I mean, if you want to sell the whole idea of it, number one, it's not enough just to get one actor who's playing the Matt Hagen character. You have to get some really good actors that Matt Hagen is going to be impersonating as Clayface.
right. Well, here's I guess I can real quickly read the other two paragraphs, or I'll just read the whole thing again. The Nexus point states that it's based on Feta Clay, Rhys Davies' character being named Matt Hagen. The character will serve as an amalgamation of Hagen with the backstory of Basil Carlo, the real name of Clayface in the comics. The story will start with Hagen as a handsome up-and-coming director who was attacked and disfigured. The report goes on to say that Hagen is from Gotham City. The actor moves to Hollywood to escape the troubled past, so I don't think there'll be Batman in it. Before his career is ruined by his disfigurement, eventually leading to him becoming a shape-shifting monster. Sound kind of somewhat familiar. Another character in the script, Dr. Caitlin Bates, is an original one and created for the film, and not based on any specific DC characters. Bates views Hagen as a means to achieve her biotech startup's breakthrough in medical industry, aiming to cure his condition. Bates will have a fiance in the film, so it's more like Hulk almost now. Fiance in the film.
Well, I think it's funny that they have a woman named Caitlin Bates and Katie. So Katie Bates or Catherine Bates, who's an actress. It's just
they'll probably change one of their names. I bet
I might have to. It sounds a tad convoluted, but that just might be the
again. And I'm going to say take this with a grain of salt because I don't know if this is anything official. This sounds like it's just a leaked thing.
Yeah, we'll get something proper grades when time is there.
But anyway, it goes on. There's more, but Bates will be have a fiance in the film named John, who's suspicious of her activities with Hagen and all that. So yeah, like there's more to it than that. If you want to read it, I put the thing in the private chat.
Like Mike Flanagan story, though.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, if it's real, then that's probably what they'd be doing. So yeah. Well, we'll have to wait and see what they come up with. But I just had a feeling there might be somewhere they're like, oh, this could be like our Venom, like a deformed guy, or even Hulk, or however you want to look at it. It kind of sounds like more from that, but yeah.
Well, I mean I understand that on the surface level, but Matt Hagen is a guy who can change form at will.
Yeah, I get it. I know who he is, but at the same time, I'm like, how are you going to justify doing this without Batman in the universe? And that's where I jumped to Venom.
I'm thinking more like maybe it might be more like closer to the Fly.
It could be. Well, yeah, because you're right. Because they are kind of promoting it as like a horror film. You're right. I could see that maybe. Yeah, now that you mention that, I can see that. But anyhow, Nick, was there anything more you had to say about it, or Mo? Anybody? Before we move on.
Good, man.
Okay.
I loved the original animated episode, but yeah, without Batman, I don't know.
Makes you wonder, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they'll just insert some like random detective into the story. Who knows?
I don't know. I hope they do a bit of justice on like
Justice League.
Anyway, yeah. Anyways, yes, Justice Gang.
Justice Gang. Yeah.
Yes.
Russell Hall's in the house. How you doing, Russell Hall? Says the original Spinal Tap was funny because they stayed within the boundaries of believability while spoofing absurdity. Two of you should die. What the fuck is that? No, actually, I disagree with you. That's totally within the realm. Like, literally, they've had how many fucking members of the group die?
Every drummer has died.
Right on brand.
In fact,
right on brand.
Yeah, even the drummer died at the end of Spinal Tap.
No, and this is totally, I could see somebody in the music industry actually doing this. And that's kind of what Spinal Tap was making fun of, is the absurdity of how these realistic situations can be and how silly they can play out mixed with a little bit of absurdity, right? Like,
well, it's mocking the absurd.
Yeah, mocking the absurd.
Yeah. What's funny is that scene there has Spinal Tap as the straight characters in that scene. They're the normal ones there when this guy is talking about saying, let's just see if we can kill one of you.
And that might be part of the joke of the film, is that the world has now gotten crazier than Spinal Tap. They're more normal than the rest of the world at this point, because they've been supposedly broke up for like, 10, 15 years or something like that. So yeah, that's the start of the film. But I'm curious what broke them up in the first place. But like,
probably this is Spinal Tap.
Yeah, that could be.
It'd be really funny if they said their band mishap in Springfield really caused a divide. because that's.
But yeah, I mean,
cameoed in this Simpsons episode.
Fair if you don't think it's funny. That's cool. I just don't agree with you that it's not Spinal Tap ish, because I think it is, and I don't know. That's just my opinion though too. Jason Webster says Blue Dragon series awards are this Friday in Seoul. Well, there you go for your fans of that stuff. Russell Hall says they didn't tell the drummer to die though. I know, but what he even explains there is like it's the Elvis effect, and he's not wrong, because the music industry, I think that's going to be a big part of the movie too, is that the music industry is very dead, but it's so dead that acts like Spinal Tap, who were shit back in the day, would actually be worth something now. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Because it's like the movie industry where they can bank off the fact that it's Spinal Tap, or one of these, like if they got Quiet Riot back together, you know what I mean? Like they have 2 songs and they were barely even a band to begin with. And then they broke up and all the other stuff that goes along with the rest of their story. So again, I get what you're saying, Russell. It'll be interesting to see though, what they come up with. And then he goes, the drummer was basically Kenny from South Park. Yes, I get that. But the point is that just absurd, the absurd way that the industry works, I can see that being part of the fun, because this is just true. I'm sure they have these conversations behind closed doors. I guarantee you that they're like, yeah, it'd be great if so-and-so died. They'd be worth that much more. You'd be surprised. And
not a single one of them mentioned, well, we had 7 drummers.
Yeah, that may even be something that
got cut
out, or that we didn't see in this clip. But anyhow, Flying Blind on a Rocket Cycle says there's a classic SNL sketch which is similar. It is Dana Carvey in the, I think, Chopping Broccoli song. Yes, that one is based on one of his stand-up routines.
Stand-up routines, yep. And
then the whole thing is he's supposed to have a song written in the skit, and he just makes his shit up. Because the whole joke was based like, doesn't it sound like half these guys are just making this shit up as they go? He just starts playing the music and he's like doing like, it's a whole bit. It's the same exactly as the SNL skit basically, but yeah, that's just a live action play out version of it.
Oh yeah,
it's a
he's
good
chopping
skit.
broccoli.
Chopping broccoli.
Chopping broccoli. Yeah,
is it great? That stand-up special is one of the most overlooked great ones of all time. Dana Carvey one.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
His whatever, Gordy.
Really
yeah. What was that script?
Dana Carvey's podcast is actually quite funny.
I do catch a lot of the clips. Yeah, I haven't sat through a whole one yet. I just haven't had the chance to. But Soul Nightmare coming in with 10 says, so do we still know what Gunn Superman semi-sequel is? The most think it's World's Finest, but that requires Batman. I think it will be Superman and Supergirl film, possibly involving the Message. I think he said what he said because I think we're going to see Superman already back in Supergirl, and he's going to be popping up in Peacemaker and other places. I think this is kind of just going to be like, unlike this Snyder, and I'm not comparing it to Snyder, just hear me out. And I'm not saying this to you, Soul Nightmare, I'm just saying this to anybody in the chat who wants to freak out already. The difference between this and Snyder's situation, no matter what anybody tells you, Snyder never went into Man of Steel knowing that Batman v Superman was the sequel.
That's right.
I think James is going at this, and when he says, what do you define Superman 2? I wonder if we'll ever get an actual Superman 2, if it's even in the cards. Because from this point forward, it probably will be some sort of amalgam movie with a completely different kind of name that doesn't necessarily mean it's Superman 2. But it's Superman and
Superman versus the Mole Man, or some sort of
something like that. You know, like, yeah, some weird, and I could see that being a Bronze Age, Silver Age kind of name that they would go with. Exactly. So I see exactly where you're going with that. It could be even like Superman versus the Moon People or some shit like that. And actually it's Kryptonians that are on the moon, and they think that they play like they're from the moon, but they're actually yeah. I could see something like that just because that's so fucking any of the titles from one of the George Reeves series could and that's why I posted that the other day, would work probably as a sequel to Superman, and Script knows exactly where I'm going with this. Is I don't think he's going to do the whole Superman 2, Superman 3, Batman 1, Batman 2, Batman 3. I don't think they're going to do that like they did over at Marvel. I think he's going to approach this completely differently. The only things that are going to be like that are going to be like Clayface and the Batman too. I think everything else that is in his DC universe going forward, they will have names like Batman, Brave and the Bold, and Supergirl, and certain things like that. But once you get past this quote unquote first phase of the gods and monsters, I think it'll be more of, it might even be a world's finest. You're possibly right. But I think we'll see Superman plenty before then, is my point. But I don't know if you guys have a different take.
I have what I'm a hopeful take is, I just want, regardless of what it's called, I want a proper Superman sequel or two. I don't want us to go right into World's Finest at that point where, yeah, James Gunn would be going in with a plan to bring in Batman versus Zack Snyder not, but I don't care. We need to let these universes breathe and grow. We need Superman to grow. We need to see more of his supporting cast, and we need to see more of his villains. As much as I really enjoyed Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor in the movie, which I've stated several times, I want to see villains we have yet to see in the movie or any Superman movie.
Superman versus Mongol on Warworld.
Oh, dude, I would be so happy with a Mongol or a Manchester Black, Mr. Mixius.
I'm not even sure if Gunn has thought that far ahead with it either. Like he might be just concentrating on Wonder Woman and Batman right now, and Superman's a complete thing like over here in left field. He's like, I'm going to worry about that when I get there. Could very well.
I do like the idea of him exploring the rest of the DC Trinity first before doing a follow-up of the sequel. That would be a smart move, because then it would lead. I mean, the rumor is that the Gods and Monsters phase ends with the creation of Justice League. That's the rumor.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
And then if you want to do, again, we have no idea. We're just speculating, right? So Mo, I don't know. What's your speculation on where this is going to go?
I think it's going to be a cluster. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I mean, let's be serious.
You're very possibility, man.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if you're going to put
on
your
our
money
parade,
on,
sorry.
If we're going to put our money on the roulette table, it just seems like it's kind of like chaotic right now. Whether you liked the movie, didn't like the movie, or hated the movie, or indifferent to the movie, the direction does seem a bit. I don't know. When you're starting off with Justice Gang, and I'm just saying, like, it's hard to tell because you kind of. I don't know. I wish he would do a Superman lone movie. We don't,
We've already had a couple of those. I think that's why he's not going to give that to us.
At least not for a while. And maybe, I mean, maybe down the road, and that's where I was thinking maybe it's like over here in the left field of his mind. And Mo, I could be totally wrong. And the next movie he announces after Wonder Woman and Batman is Superman 2, right? I could be completely fucking off base. I'm just going off of what I'm observing, and I think Script and I are really much in simpatico with what we're seeing, what James Gunn is up to, at least for now anyway, at this point in juncture, because I think that going forward, each thing is going to have its own tone, but it's all going to still be in the same universe, and he's going to have less of a, what do you call it, like a leash on the creative side of things, towards like, because he's already said this in so many words, or said it directly, that, oh yeah, we're gonna have R-rated, we're gonna have PG-13. I don't know if he said we're gonna have PG, but I wouldn't even be surprised if they do maybe something within the PG realm. I was kind of waiting. I thought for sure Jeff Snyder was gonna announce tonight that, they were gonna come out with a Crypto animated series or movie. I wouldn't be surprised, because I've been hearing rumors of that. So I have a feeling they're gonna try and hit every note here, because like Peacemaker's obviously R-rated.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if we have some kind of Justice Gang movie that doesn't lean more into R-rated after the Green Lantern series finishes up or whatever. Because I have a feeling that they're kind of setting that whole thing up for the Justice Gang to be Justice League International anyway, right? So there's a whole lot of ways they can go with it, and that's what my point was. I feel like we're at a point where, yes, you may see it as a cluster because maybe you didn't like Superman, and that's totally fair, dude, totally fair. Or you didn't like it as much as I did, or whatever, however you want to put it. I'm looking at it and I see this, what you see as a cluster, I'm seeing as all these different avenues where things can go, if that makes sense. Maybe it's a half glass, half empty kind of thing. Is that, I don't know. Maybe that's where
power is nothing without control. If he can exude some control on where things go, I think it'll be pretty good. But that's the problem we've experienced with a lot of things nowadays. So if there's a defined vision, I think we'll be good. I've yet to see anything like that for a while. So there's always a good start, but it's like they usually trip, blow out their Achilles tendon, and then they're out for the race,
I mean, it's again, it's really hard to sustain the level of quality over that many films.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that kind of
Yeah,
event,
yeah.
right? So no, there's definitely huge possibilities for some serious trip ups here. One of the things that really got me into this this film and James Gunn's take, especially before it released, is the fact that it's opened up the world of Superman to characters we have never seen or never would have seen in other variations of the Superman in live action. And gets me curious because I kind of want to see Parasite. I want to see Metallo proper. I want to see all the crazy intergalactic or interstellar characters that come down to Earth just to challenge Superman because they've heard of him. I like to see those ideas because there's a little bit of whimsy and silliness to it, but it still also gives us more opportunities to see Superman kind of double down on the type of character and person he is. And Superman, the Superman movie has an episodic narrative to it, which I think is jarring a lot of people who are expecting like a proper feature film. But I think that is the experiment James Gunn is giving us here to see if he can actually weave a larger story across different narratives of characters for this phase. So he's not just trying to emulate what Marvel is doing. He's doing something really risky. And I for the sake of just pleasing an audience, I hope it works.
Yep. And like I said, what I was trying to say was we're at a single point right now. He needs another point to see where that line's going. And it's hard to tell because he's got it facing a lot of directions. It could go a lot of different ways. And I see what you're saying, but that's always the concern is like, okay, what's the next step? Because Man of Steel was like, okay, that was pretty good. And then it went, so I don't know.
And that's where you and I disagree. And that's where I can see where you're coming from on this, right? Like where I was with Man of Steel is where you're at now with this. But my hatred didn't come in, and you're right, until BBS, because I still gave, I'm looking at the end of Man of Steel going, wait, maybe Zach's got this grand plan. And BBS is going to make up for it. Little did I know.
Zach had no plan.
No
Zach
plan.
Heroism. Doesn't understand Superman. Doesn't understand the Kents.
Sorry to all the Snyder fans out there, but that is so true.
You can still say it's a good look. He's a Frank Miller, Alan Moore guy with good writers on their own merits, but they don't sum up all of comics. They're two writers out of thousands of great writers.
You can give me the argument, and I will accept that it is an interesting concept or look at what it would be like to do a Superman-like story if the Kents were complete fucking assholes, and this is what Superman would turn out. But it's not a Superman movie at the end of the day. And I know some people are going to say, well, what about with the whole message thing? No, the whole point, regardless, and I've said this with the message thing and everything like that, yeah, I don't like it. I disagree with it. I don't even know if it's going to stick. But even if it does stick, the whole point of the film, spoilers or minor spoiler, is that he rejects that message.
Yeah.
Right? And anybody who's sitting here trying to say, well, it's an immigration story, well, that blew up in their face, because if that's the case, the whole movie's about how Superman has assimilated to Earth and he's just as human as everybody else, despite the fact that he's an alien.
Well,
and how he inspires everybody else around him. Yeah.
Well, here's the other take with regards to the immigration story, and that is Lex Luthor hates him so much that he creates the immigration story of replacement theory for Superman.
Yeah.
Because that's basically what's the big red herring that's causing a lot of hoopla with some people that just don't know how to discern characters and motivations. So,
well,
I mean, because that's one of the arguments, the counter arguments to immigration is like, we don't want to be replaced, right? So
which Lex is technically replaced.
Lex is trying to do. He's trying to create a replacement theory with Superman. So, I mean, there you have it. That's one way. I don't think anyone in our space yet has really delved into it in that angle, because we do know, like, he's a refugee. He grew up with only Earth as a culture to him, so he's not a proper immigrant by that standard.
He's a foundling more than anything.
He didn't make the choice to come to the country. He was sent here by his parents.
And then, like I always point out, Clark Kent himself, the actual
farm
person,
boy.
Well, the person that we see as either the farm boy or the mild mannered reporter is technically a legal foundling, right? Yeah. Like I said, I doubt on his birth certificate says he was born on Krypton. Right?
That's where you get to the funny part. The paperwork is legal so long as they don't know that he's an alien. Because once they know he's an alien, that becomes void.
And then once you get into that, that's where you get to the foundling thing. You can make the argument easy found. Now, if the fact that he is an extraterrestrial
because it also comes into debate. Are we certain his planet's destroyed? How can we
Yeah.
tell?
Because in some versions they don't know jack shit about him. You're right.
Yeah, right. So
In
there's
most
all these
versions they don't know jack shit about him until he knows. So yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, again, that they've explored this question a couple times in the comics. They did it once in a Lois and Clark episode, but again, it's a complicated matter because listen, if everything was above board and the Kents had no fear that the government would ever betray the rights of their people, they would then say, yes, we found this child in a spaceship and we think he's a refugee. We'd like to adopt him. And then they would report it out on the paperwork. And then even if the government said, oh, we need to question Superman, it's like, well, he's technically a legal citizen of the United States. He's protected under the Constitution, even with his alien origins fully documented. Then you have then it kind of gets rid of a lot of tension and stakes and drama if Clark Kent's identity is ever revealed to be foreign to this world. So that's kind of why it works the way it works. Like, I mean, before even the Kent family existed, Superman was found by a motorist, given to an orphanage, and the orphanage was shocked that he had strength, but they didn't think anything of it because he looks like a human being. And then he grows up and gives himself the name Clark Kent and becomes a newspaper reporter. It's only a few issues afterwards we find out about the Kent family, the adoption, and all that stuff. But it was done pre-Great Depression, where there were lots of kids abandoned, and the system had no idea what to do with them. So they just kind of powered through to just get these kids in a place where someone could take care of them, so they'd have a chance.
Right.
We don't live in that society anymore, so there's a lot more scrutiny, which opens up for a lot more interesting stories to tell if you want to go that route. But as long as you play on the fact of it's a secret, not trying to be out of exploiting a loophole or being abusive to the system, it's basically like, no, immigration is legal when it's done legally. Adoption is legal when it's done, when it's done properly. But can we really trust a government, especially in the DC universe, that would love to get their hands on Superman and make him a weapon for their own nefarious gains?
Well, and not just that, like I was going to say, and this is one of the few things I think Smallville at least tapped into more than any other version before this, was the whole importance of keeping Clark, well, at least his abilities, I should say, not Clark himself, but Clark's abilities secret because of the fear of the government coming and taking him away. Right. So that added that layer of why we had to keep this shit under wraps and why this is, but it adds that why it has to be, what it is and why they have to hide that. So it doesn't have a nefarious reason for it. Right. Like the reason they're doing is to protect him.
To protect him from an institution that can easily be corrupted because it changes hands every so many years. Like that's how you build a moral code. Is like, don't question authority is always a better mindset than, just trust your government.
Right. Well, in Pilgrim Media says the Letterman sounding guy is right. A cluster. So you're the Letterman sounding guy, Mo.
Out of all the states in the country, he accurately predicts where I grew up. I guess we all sound the same.
Indiana, huh? Yeah.
You do have a bit of a, now that he says it, I do hear a little bit of a Letterman tinge in your voice. You say the
top 10 Superman sequels. Yeah.
Yeah, not bad. Go one. We were talking about, it's funny because we were talking about before you and Script got here earlier. Nick and I were just waxing about impressions. Yeah. Anyway, Go One for One says, saw the Superman movie. It stenches to James Gunn so badly. He is a Kojima of cinema, just half of a good movie, but the good half is a real solid 6 out of 10. Hey, that's a fair assessment. Yep. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. That's cool, man.
Absolutely. That's the truth. Yeah,
sorry you didn't like it.
Resonate. It's interesting how I've been seeing it go on at my employer. It's the conversation around it has been ramping up, and from the normie side, it is not really split in opinion of the movie, but it's split on a lot of people who have seen it really enjoyed it. I'm probably the only actual Superman fan in my employer, but it's a bunch of normies. So I'm surrounded by normies. There's one half of a bunch of normies who've seen it, who really enjoy it. And then there's the other half of normies like, oh, great. Another superhero movie. When is this going to end? So that's another thing that this movie has going against it too is, there is definitely people looking at it just saying they don't care. They're not looking from the Zack Snyder, James Gunn angle. They're not looking at it from Marvel or DC. There's definitely great, more superhero movies. When's there going to be something else? So there's that. That's another uphill battle that's going on for us. So, and it goes to show you, like, obviously that's more of a geek nerd sphere thing to have with the James Gunn, Zack Snyder thing and all the debates. But from the casual perspective, there's definitely a bit of a stigma being attached to superheroes right now. And will Superman overcome that? I don't know.
I think all Superman is showing us, and we'll have to find. We'll probably know more when Fantastic Four comes out, and that is that I think that we are on the horizon or the sunset or whatever you want to call it, going into the sunset of the superhero movies. I think fatigue is set in, even if it was pushed unceremoniously forward because of woke. It has happened, and going forward, I think we're going to go back to kind of the way things were more in the earlier days, if not even earlier days of comic book movies, where, yeah, we'll get a Batman and Superman once in a while. And that's if this DC thing fails and Marvel doesn't manage to somehow find a way to, pull something off, like a Hail Mary play in the fourth quarter, because that's where they're at right now. Man, they're at... And this is where, like, I'm getting a lot of shit, and people are calling me shills, and I'm sure Script and some other guys have gotten the same kind of shit.
Oh, yeah.
But it's at the end of the day...
a few people bombard my comments with essays about how I'm wrong.
Even if I hated the movie or disliked the movie, I would still be like, look, it's not a complete failure. It's not a big win, but it is a win in a sense that it's the only superhero movie that's performed since Deadpool and Wolverine in any way, shape, or form that wasn't a complete and utter disaster. Yeah. It did come in, as far as expectations go, above the weekend expectations for domestic. Yes, it came in soft for international, but that doesn't mean that the international audience they go to films differently. So they're into Jurassic right now. Yeah. Maybe next week they will go see it. Who knows?
Let's not forget too, Guardians.
Maybe they
3, opened up even softer and had.
So did Barbie and some other films.
Yeah. I don't care to ever see Guardians 3. But I am aware of the facts around that movie, that it had mad legs. So is it out of the realm of possibility for this movie to do that? No, it's not out of the realm of possibility. It could happen, but it could also crater. You can't see this based on what you like and what you don't like, because when you do that, it will cloud your judgment. You got to just see it for simply what it is. Is it performing well? Is it not performing well? Not, well, I don't like this movie, so I need to find a way to slant it to my opinion that it's doing bad. Or I like it, so I got to find a way to make it like it's a roaring success. Sometimes some things can just be underperforming. It does happen in the world, but I
wouldn't even call this necessarily underperforming yet.
And that's why I'm just trying to put in ideas there.
Absolutely. Unless this craters big time next weekend, and then maybe. At this point, it's reached the expectation. It has to hit a threshold yet. That's
200 million worldwide,
which it already has. It's at 230 something after yesterday.
Weekend, they're betting on 200 million, and it hit 220 million. I think that's thanks to the U.S. market for that North America market. And that's
a little less than that, but
even though I saw articles say, it barely hinged over 200. I'm like, I wouldn't call 220 barely.
It hit 212 worldwide.
It's closer to a quarter of that than is farther. So that's not
hit
really barely. If you're like 203, 205, maybe 209, sure. But it's closer to 225. That's not barely.
I can't remember exactly where it hit, but it was somewhere between 212 and 217 was the final worldwide. No,
220. It was 220.
Was it 220? Because I know that they underestimated US by like 3 million.
It ended up being 125 was the final number.
Okay. Yeah, for US,
like 116, then became 120, then 122, they ended up being 125 overall.
Because the overall overseas was like 93, I think. 95. Okay, so they were off by well, that makes sense then that much. I didn't realize they were off by that much. So and that's the other thing people aren't really paying.
That's not barely 200. That's once again, it's close.
They're never off by this much on the one end. It's usually the other way around, right? So, but nobody's going to give them credit for that. But
actually, sorry guys, but I got to go because I'm
we're going to wrap this up anyhow.
Now. But thanks very much, and we'll catch you guys later.
Take care, Script. Yep. And on that note, Mo, what you got going on? You did a Superman show without me. I'm kind of pissed. I should put you in timeout.
Then have a contrarian.
What are you talking about? I'm David Letterman.
Shit off the top of that list. What the fuck? I gotta be Flash now. What the fuck's with that list? I know you weren't the only one to contribute to it, but still.
Hey, you
gotta fight harder, man. No, I'm just kidding.
I really should have. I was the host of that show, so that makes it even worse. So yeah, you can go ahead and ban me. But no, I'll probably be doing another one of those streams like I did with Jay here on Thursday. I think it just depends. He's been traveling. We're gonna do Jurassic World Rebirth. I have not seen anything since I saw the stupid ass girl in Lost World doing gymnastics, and I said I'm not watching another one because I love Jurassic Park. I saw the clip on HBO. I'm like, nah. Then I never watched another one after that.
That's like one of the worst parts of the movie.
I know, but I'm just saying it's like walking into.
And that's even pre-woke shit, right? So like even back then we were just like, that's stupid. But like
No,
I unapologetically love the Lost World.
I tried watching a little more and I was like, I just love Jurassic Park so much. Anyways, so I think we're gonna
last 15 minutes, Mo. That's the trick.
Fair enough. But
I just watched the T-Rex in San Diego shit. Sorry.
No. So I'm going to jump back into it in some portion, probably with Rebirth. We're probably going to go over it again, but the next movie we're going to do on Monday, Hangover, is Back to the Future.
Perfect movie.
Which I actually have a Marty McFly kind of outfit I cobbled together. We'll see if I can find all of it. But Marty McFly with a pituitary problem. Anyways, we got that, and yes, actually,
my kid just got me this the other day. Yeah.
Gosh darn those things. But yeah, no. So what I'm going to do is I have the Back to the Future we taped off HBO back in the 80s, and I have my Betamax player and my beta tape. So I'm going to watch it that way. So there might be a clip of that. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to I love that retro kind of stuff. But anyways,
nice.
It's been a pleasure talking about this stuff. I'm curious to where all this stuff is going. So Monday Hangover, we got a few things coming up. And I will be playing Mass Effect on Mo's Game Room on Thursday, which has been really fun talking about good stories. So I'll be doing that probably 9:00 on Eastern on Thursday. But as always, thanks for having me on, and the chat is awesome. That one guy.
you know what's funny is I have one of the sealed McDonald's versions of Back to the Future on VHS. You remember that when McDonald's sold it for like $4.99 or whatever it was, or $2.99?
Oh, geez. Is it like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from Pizza Hut, where it was like ultra long, like quality?
No, actually, the ones at McDonald's weren't so bad. They were actually, because they did every year. They had a thing with either they'd switch between Universal and Paramount. And one year was like Back to the Future. I want to say like 5 Goes West, Field of Dreams. I can't remember what the other one was. Maybe Uncle Buck or something like that.
I do.
And then the next year they did like the Indiana Jones trilogy. And then one year they did Wayne's World and a couple other ones, Addams Family. Yeah, it's crazy.
And then they had Mac and Me, and they ruined all their goodwill. But anyways,
the ones that Pizza Hut and them did were real cheapies.
Oh my goodness, I still loved it because it was free episodes. But my goodness,
yeah,
even at 10 years old, I was like, that's rough, man. Yeah.
My dad bought me the whole set one in the day it came out, because it was like the same week as the Ninja Turtle movie, and that's actually the first time I ever got to see the trailer, because I never saw them, because back then we didn't have the internet.
No,
so
I think that was for me too.
Yeah, and I didn't even know it was after the movie. I didn't even know it was after the episodes. They didn't put it before the episodes. You had to watch the whole episode, and then they'd have the movie trailer after the episode.
Tom and I are old, Chad.
We're both let it play, and it's like, holy shit, what's this?
Yeah, no, exactly. If your tape player didn't need it first, but anyways, I digress.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But yeah, what Mo's talking about is they had 4 tapes where they had 1 episode each on a tape, like one lousy half-hour episode.
And there must have been like 5 feet of tape in the cassette.
Yeah, they were really tiny tapes. Yeah, I think they were SLP, like you said, like the long play or whatever.
Yeah.
But Nick, you were probably a little too old to remember those, I bet. So
Yeah.
But all right, Nick, you got Toxic Tuesday coming up. What's going on there? You got 10 to midnight.
That's right. We're talking Charles Bronson, 10 to midnight, exclusively on Rumble. It's going to be a huge time. Some might say it'd be the best time. You should come hang out with us in 35 minutes. It's going to be diabolically huge. That all said, yeah, come check us out then. Also, Saturday night is our new start time for Kalabi's Comic Shop, starting this Saturday at 6 p.m. Central. The market responded when I put it to a vote, and people responded very loudly. So we're gonna start Saturday. That'll be killer. I did a Superman review. Go check that out if you haven't before the show starts. That's on YouTube. And go subscribe to my new Bonded by Metal channel as well with the boys like that 70s rock fan, a few other guys. We had a great first video called 3 albums you hate from bands you love, and we already got another one that's being in the works. So yeah, it's gonna be all things huge coming this way. So good discussions, good conversation. Thanks for having me, and I hope to see the lot of you on the other side of Rumble in the back door in 35 minutes. Thank you.
All right, so check that out. And with that, you can find me on the morning show tomorrow. I don't know if I'll be able to join Nick tonight because I don't know if I have this Charles Bronson movie.
Oh, dude.
I thought I did, but I looked for it and I'm like, shit, I don't think I have it. So
you gotta own it now. You gotta course correct.
The moment I buy it, Kino Lorber will end up announcing the 4K.
I'm not going to be able to make it tonight, but I gotta say, after watching a lot of Charles Bronson's catalog, I fully believe that they hired B actors so that he could suck the life force out of them and extend his career in some of the movies that he was in. So
interesting take.
I'm just saying, if you look at IMDb or you look at all their I do too. Dirty Dozen for life.
Dude, great movie. We still need to do that one. We haven't even done that one yet.
You still haven't done the Dirty Dozen?
We have not. We've done the Magnificent
That's
Seven,
like my dating life.
Hard Times, which he was in. And of course, we've done Death Wish 1, 2, and 3. We're doing Mr. Majestic in a week or two.
I don't think I've seen that one
off
either.
for my daughter's birthday, but we're doing Mr. Majestic, and we're also going to do Death Wish 4 finally as well. So a lot of Bronson coming up.
Wow. Oh, and look at this, Jason. I did not know this. F1 crossed 400 million worldwide, or will be soon.
Nice.
Very good for that movie.
It's 500 because that movie is.
I think that means it has made its monies back then. Yeah. All right. Well, with that, kids, see you later. Take care of yourselves and each other, and we will see you soon. Bye.
Cute kitty.